Hello guys and welcome to another video, and this is where I'll try to explain my couple days in Italy. And the first stop was right about that Castelletto circuit, Motodromo Castelletto di Branduzzo. Just, I think it's 1 hour outside of Milan, so this is the first stop where I had a chance to drive the Ferrari 488 GTB. And this is how I started. I didn't even know how to put it in gear, but luckily I had my racing instructor down there by my side, so yeah, it's kind of procedure. It's not like a normal. It's kind of a normal road car, I guess, but it's a road version, of course. But it's not a full race car. But still, you need to know how to put it in gear and how to brake. As you can see here, I just stepped on the brakes. I didn't know how the brakes would feel like, but they were very hard. So just when I pressed the brakes down, they were just a complete stop. I mean, just incredible from your normal car. Yeah, your normal car doesn't feel like that, not even the slightest bit. But again, I would say that I had a pretty fun time here, and just the whole experience was, in my opinion, one of the best things I probably did in, I wouldn't say my racing career, because I don't have a racing career yet, but you know, still one of the best experiences that I had with cars to this date. And it was a very pleasant experience. I know the track wasn't very fast. It was very technical, a lot of corners, a lot of stopping zones. You can see me, mostly I was in first and second gear, but just as you put that throttle down, you can actually feel the force of around 600 horsepower and literally 150, there it is. So it takes like maybe 5 seconds to reach 150 kilometers per hour, which is insane. It's like 100 miles per hour. And just before the session, just before I went going, I installed a Set of Corsa mod. So it's actually the same car at the same track, and you know, I wouldn't be sim racer if I haven't tried this. So I just set on my sim, you know, plug and play literally, and I'll try to explain what I did here. So I tried to compare my laps between my real life experience and my sim race experience on a Set of Corsa, and it was incredibly accurate, I gotta say. So just the total force feedback of the car and everything else you feel in the car is not the same, but just the racing lines and everything else is. You may, in the video you can see I'm stopping the racing video a little bit because it really didn't have the confidence as I do have in the sim. Just, you know, you have a $300,000 car and you just don't want to crash it. So in sim racing you don't have to worry about that, but in real life you do. So I put the brakes down a little bit. I mean, I didn't force the car that much. I mean, the racing instructor, once again, he was telling me, okay, you need to slow down a bit. So I took that into account. I slowed out in a couple of corners, but as you can see here, I mean, the corners were pretty accurate. Everything was right where it's supposed to be. I wasn't like doing something that I'm not familiar with. So just the gearing, putting the throttle down, you can even see how am I rotating the wheel. It's pretty much the same, and all the acceleration forces are pretty accurate, except that I've just decided to brake a lot later on the sim, but here I had to release the throttle and then get on the brakes, just to be sure that I don't crash the car. So that was another thing that I have to account in this video. But again, a very unique and very pleasant experience about the whole track and the whole experience between the sim racing experience what I had and the real one that I had. And I just didn't know how to put it in reverse in this section, so it was quite funny. So I kind of didn't know, okay, where is the brake of this car, and just the total rotation. I don't think it's quite usual to the normal road cars. I mean, it's still a Ferrari, but I finally found the rear with the help of my instructor. So another stop was Drive Gym, just outside Milan, outside the city center of Milan, where I was hosted by Antonio and his wife Francesca. And this is actually a Drive Gym, as it actually says in the name of it. So you go there, you sim race. That's basically it. You just go there, you got a lot of wheels, and this is, I would say, the best as it gets. And this is where I had the opportunity to test the CSL Direct Drive. So this was my first time driving the CSL DD, and I had the exact McLaren GT3 wheel as I have at home. So I didn't change much, I just changed the base, and I could actually feel the difference right away. So it's a lot more accurate, and you can see just a little box right there. It's not a huge box, but it's a very, very unique and pleasant experience when you just switch from this, let's say, this CSL Elite to CSL DD. So I was spending around 15-20 minutes on CSL DD, and I had the chance to like go there, just sit on another rig and try the CSL DD. So quite a unique experience. I wouldn't do this at home because, of course, you gotta do all of, you just do all of the plug and play stuff, and you just have to count with the wires. And this process on my personal rig, this process would take me probably about half an hour. Maybe if I'm doing everything right, it would take me around 20 minutes just to change everything. But just the total experience that I had, just to going from one rig to another in 5 minutes, that was just a unique experience for me, just to feel that difference. So I think at this point I know what are the pros and cons of, if any cons of CSL Direct Drive. I don't think there are literally any cons about the whole wheelbase. I wouldn't say not even one. So it's in my personal opinion, it's just a better product. The pricing was when the CSL Elite was up to sale, I think it was around $350 or euros, depending on where you live. And now the CSL DD is $350, but if you want to get more torque out of it, okay, you gotta pay an extra 115 more. So that's something you would kind of put into account. But yeah, I would say just a lot more feedback, direct information. Literally, when you do a mistake, you know how to correct it. And this was my first time playing Mugello on Assetto Corsa. I'm not an Assetto Corsa player, so just something to have in mind. And I just sat there, and in 15-20 minutes I put the top 10 result. So this is how much information this wheel is giving you. It's just a lot more info, just a lot more details, I would say. And then you know how to react on the track, and then you know how to behave. So you can see a lot of smaller corrections. You know where you're supposed to brake. I mean, it just the wheel tells you a lot more than CSL Elite. Don't get me wrong, CSL Elite is still a very, very good wheel. I'm not saying anything about it, but this is just a superior product. It's not, it's not something you would compare to other stuff, but I would say this is easily comparable because I just had the experience, like going from one wheel to another wheelbase. That's it. So 5 minutes here, 5 minutes there. I mean, I spent in the end I spent a lot more than think that I spent like only 5 minutes in the whole Drive Gym experience. No, I spent like hours here, and it was very good in the end. So this is all. I mean, this is just my personal opinion. I mean, this is direct. I'm not sponsored by anyone, so this is just me telling you, okay, this is a better product, which of course it is. So just going in those corners when you don't feel there is a lot of grip. With this wheel, you have a lot more direct information. You know how to make that correction. You know when to make it. This is the most important thing. So even if you brake slightly too late, you will know, okay, I stepped on the brakes too late, I need to correct the car. At that point, the wheel is going to tell you this. But the CSL Elite has kind of a delayed, you can see even this motion. So even the CSL DD has, I would say, a lot superior feedback. I would say it's more direct and fast. So let's compare that to CSL Elite, where it's like a little bit delayed, and yeah, that's about it. So I was able to get a top 5 result here, and now we're gonna have a couple of words from Antonio.
At Mugello here at Auto. So Michael did 8 minutes and 50, and he put 3 good laps, single point of the track. Here you can see that they broke mostly at the same point, and then the difference is going to build up here and here. That is in correspondence of the 2 arrabbiatas. Again, here you can see the speed of Michael Gashi is a little bit higher everywhere. In this turn we have a late brake from Gashi and a very sharp corner that brings him a lot of speed extra.
Okay, so I lost a lot of time just by
one single brake.
just one single braking point cost me a
And
lot of
then
time.
this is the second moment. Here you broke very early compared to Michael, but this again is the driving style of Michael Gasparovic. He brake very late and turn the corner very
quick.
abruptly, very quickly. Now we want just to catch the most important stuff, and then I can say that there is that brake here, and basically this one.
Okay, so when I'm driving, I need to maybe improve in a couple of areas.
Focus in these two turns where we gain at least 1/2 second, only just fixing these two.
So I should be able to get like a top 5 almost instantly.
Leaving everything, the rest of 1.5 seconds can go away easily.
Okay.
Just watching this.
Should we try it? Let's go try it out.
Now, let's go try it out for the second.
And off we go. So in the end, we had a pretty exciting race between Riccardo Chiesa, who is also 2019 Italian champion in Porsche Cayman GT4 Cup, and 2020 Italian champion in Ferrari 488 Cup. So probably the race car version of the car that I was driving previously. And also we had Michael Gashi, who is also a very fast driver, and also he's a Drive Gym customer. Another one, Andrea Ferro, who is also a Drive Gym customer, and lastly but not at least, so Gaetano Sinatra, who is also a Drive Gym customer. So these guys were extremely fast, and you know, Antonio invited them just to participate in this race, just to see where I'm up against them. I mean, thank you all of you guys. First I gotta say thank you, and I mean, what I can say, it was a pretty exciting race. My start was terrible. My start was pretty awful, so we kind of a very interesting race. So this is Imola, not the track where I usually race at, but as you can see, all of the other guys are, you know, very familiar with the track. They know every single bit of this track. Just very exciting and very fast. And at this point you can actually see Riccardo Chiesa going for a move and just making that move stick. So almost making that move stick on me. I mean, this has been exciting, I have to say. So in the end he did make that move stick on me, but it was a pretty fair and square battle. But I mean, in the end I think he had overall better pace, and just me making a lot of mistakes, just sliding with the car a little bit too much. But you can actually see that the experience coming from real cars, and just the whole, I would say, whole racecraft that comes from racing real cars. You can find his link in the description down below, so I will put his Instagram and his YouTube channel down there. If someone is interested in that, you can go check that out. So pretty exciting stuff right there. So you can see a couple of things driving GT4 Cayman and the Ferrari, and again Super Trofeo, Italian Lamborghini Super Trofeo, which is still an incredible car they drive. Just an incredible experience even to have something like that in your resume. But in the end, just trying to keep myself alive out of this in this race. So I mean, yeah, as I said, these guys are extremely fast, not kidding around. Doesn't make a lot of mistakes. No one really makes a lot of mistakes around this track. So a very demanding one. I think this track also needs to be featured in the next Gran Turismos, because it's a very good track. You can learn a lot from it, and it's, I think, the most iconic and the most tragic in the end. But I do believe it needs to be in the next Gran Turismo. It needs to be at least in one of the racing games I play with. But Assetto Corsa, pleasant experience with the track, and you can see I'm kind of defending for my life at this point. I was driving the Porsche, and I mean everyone was driving the Porsche right about here, but I really didn't know where the braking point is, and I kept overshooting it, just going in this twisty section, and you can see me just sliding all the way around, not carrying that speed, not carrying that momentum. So in the end I lost that place. I mean, I just couldn't do much. I mean, and Riccardo Chiesa he passed me, and he kept on going, and yeah, completely unstoppable at this point. So, you know, a driver in front of me making a mistake. I don't really know who that was. I mean, I had to look at the replay, but I just didn't connect it to the guy. So in the end, I did make something out of this. So I almost made something out of this. So as the tires kicked in, I kind of preserved my tires in an okay way. I wasn't as, as good as Riccardo and the other guys with the tires, but I kept on going. I kept my pace, I kept my cool, and in the last couple of laps I followed. I didn't do a lot of mistakes, and it was all bumper to bumper in the last corner, in the last couple of corners, but couldn't do much. I didn't want to risk it. I didn't want to take anyone out of this one. So a pretty good battle. I mean, in the end, but yeah, didn't want to do much. Just taking my time going for it, but it was the last lap, and just that little slide. I think this little slide in the end cost me the place. And so the guys were up the pace. I wasn't. I mean, I gotta be honest with myself. I got a lot of things to learn about a set of course and how this thing works. So yeah, I mean, congratulations to all of you guys. It's been a really wonderful experience, and in the end I had a chance to have a couple of words with Riccardo in the end. He was basically showing his experience from racing real cars and what does it actually take to race a real car in the wet, which I found very valuable to me, because you don't see a lot of these things being even in a podcast or even being talked about in the media or whatever. You just don't have the same you don't have the same experience like when someone is actually talking to you in person, one-on-one. So very unique experience, very good one in literally any way possible. So I would like to thank anyone who participated in this video. It's been a pleasure, and I would like to thank also Antonio and Francesca at Drive Gym. I would like to thank all of you guys that participated, and it's just after all of this, it's just been such an amazing experience. Just sharing my afternoon and my day with you was extremely pleasant. So thank you guys, and yeah, just a couple of shots from us. Guys, if you like this video, please smash the like button, and hope you enjoyed it. Thank you very much, and I'll see you next time.